Hello, this is the trade site Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning for Sunday, the 8th of February, 2015, ending Friday the 13th. That's right, we're ending on a Friday the 13th this week. Just came off of an interesting week of trading, a couple nice winners to close out the week after some chop early on. We'll look at the intra-week action in a moment. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. You can see the bars got wider as the data came out. The last couple of days, we started out slow on Monday and ended up right where we started for the week, basically. Nothing significant happened, but the ranges a couple of the days were at least decent. Here's a look at the euro dollar. Basically the exact same thing as the dollar index, just 4 days sideways and one tiny day before it. Here's a look at the pound, which did actually break out and make a move Thursday, but it's still sitting very near the lows. Here's the Australian dollar against the dollar, very near the lows. Here's the New Zealand dollar against the dollar. Not much else to say there. We'll look at one cross pair. That's the pound yen, so the pound is recovering a bit. All right, let's take a look now at the intra-week action in 30-minute bars. We'll start with the euro dollar. We'll line this chart up so you can see just the end of last week. And yeah, basically for the entire week, we gained about 10 pips on the euro dollar. The range from high to low, though, was about 200 pips. We moved up on after a dead session Monday, nothing going on. You would have thought it was a holiday. We moved all the way up all the way up Tuesday. Wednesday came all the way back. Thursday almost all the way back to the highs, and Friday all the way back again. So we had some opportunities there. Made a couple of nice winners on Thursday and Friday in the euro dollar. Here's a look at the pound dollar intra-week. This one a little steadier on the upside, didn't pull back as much. Total range for the week here was about 350 pips, which we'll take. That's a good range for a trading week and much better than we were seeing for a while. There's the Aussie dollar, basically only moved on Tuesday, down and all the way back. If you take that move out, this whole week was in basically 130 pip range on the Aussie, which is not overly exciting. All right, so what does this mean for trading going forward? What do we have to look forward to? I don't see anything significant in terms of signals on the daily charts that would give us much to go off of. So let's just look at the economic data that's coming out this week and talk about what to expect. Sunday night, Japan's current account and bank lending. Australia has some minor data points. Japan's consumer confidence going into midnight Monday. Economy watchers sentiment, German trade balance. The G20 meetings begin. Centex investor confidence. Housing starts out of Canada. Labor market conditions index out of the U.S. Member of the Fed speaking Monday afternoon. Japan again, tertiary industry activity and M2 money stock. The retail sales monitor out of the UK, business confidence and the housing price index out of Australia, CPI and PPI out of China. You notice that the CPI is a positive and the PPI is actually pretty negative from an inflationary perspective in terms of the expectations there on the right side of your screen. Swiss unemployment rate, Europe French industrial production, Swiss CPI, Europe Italian industrial production. This is all going into Tuesday morning. Manufacturing and industrial production out of the UK. Another Fed member speaking. We've got JOLTS job openings here in the US at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Mortgage delinquencies, IBD tip economic optimism number, and the wholesale inventories data. A member of the Bank of Canada speaks. We've got the Westpac consumer sentiment number out of Australia at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Japan goes on bank holiday for Wednesday in the middle of the week. Australia home loans, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday night. We jump to Wednesday. Some point in the last 3 days of the week, China is going to put out their new loans and money supply. That's a big window for that. 30-year bond auction out of the UK. Eurogroup meetings. Crude oil inventory is the weekly number here in the U.S. 10-year bond auction here in the U.S. The Fed budget balance number, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That can sometimes move the market a little bit. It's late in the day, though, when we're not usually trading. Business manufacturing index out of New Zealand. Japan, again, back awake. Core machinery orders and PPI, or back to work, I should say. Michigan, the MI inflation expectations out of Australia. Housing price balance out of the UK. Unemployment rate and employment change out of Australia. Thursday, Japan's preliminary machine tool orders. Europe's German final CPI, industrial production. There's an economic summit after the G20 in Europe. The Bank of England inflation report and letter out of the UK, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Thursday morning. Canada's NHPI, along with U.S. retail sales and the weekly unemployment claims data. Business inventories at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Natty gas, that's the weekly number. 30-year bond auction out of the U.S. Going to Thursday night, New Zealand's FPI. China's CB leading index, Europe's preliminary GDP for the fourth quarter of 2014, along with Germany's number of the same and their WPI, French preliminary non-farm payrolls, Switzerland's PPI, Italian preliminary GDP. We got construction output out of the UK, flash GDP and trade balance out of Europe, manufacturing sales out of Canada, import prices out of the US, and then the Michigan sentiment number, also CB leading index out of the UK. So what does all that add up to? It's a lot of data, although most of it's kind of spread out. The big ones are anyways. None of them are any of our big three. We don't have the U.S. trade balance or CPI or unemployment rate. We just did trade balance and CPI and unemployment the last 2 days. There's no Fed meeting for another 5 weeks. We don't have earnings to worry about. So it's a straight up trading week, which is usually good. We do have a 3-day weekend here in the U.S. next weekend. Monday is a holiday for President's Day, and of course Saturday is Valentine's Day, which should have no impact on the market, but might anyways. So people will leave early Friday for the long weekend, and that's one thing to focus on. Other than that, I don't see any one thing that's going to be more interesting than the other. It could be a great trading week in terms of just an average amount of data and things to kind of move the market around. Hopefully those ranges stay up. We will be in the lab helping you make money as usual. Take a trial of our services if you have not. If you find this video useful, please like us on YouTube. Charts brought to you by eSignal 12 as always.